Welcome to this week's episode of the Rugby Bits podcast, and we have an absolute blockbuster episode. There's just ridiculous amount of stuff to talk about. Like, if we just had to speak about the Springboks, we could probably be here for a couple hours, but we're definitely going to cover a lot more things other than the Springboks. We're going to get kicked off with reviewing the Springboks Italy, and then we're going to have a look ahead at Springboks Georgia. I'm joined by Kooks. My man, how are you? Are you enjoying winter?
Yeah, I'm surviving winter. I'm fairly charged up for this episode. I mean, I've been in a bad mood in the last couple of days. I mean, just like from everyone just tuning, like the innovations. Argentina, they fucking ruined my weekend. Like I'll get to Argentina later. I'm just charged up, Sharky. But yeah, it was a good weekend. I mean, some fantastic rugby on the weekend. Surviving winter, and your side?
Yeah, good, eh? Not surviving winter, but I'm heading up to your neck of the woods early next month for a couple of weeks. And then just a little bit of a holiday to get away from everything. But I'm looking forward to the warm days because we don't have anything like that in Cape Town. Like there's no doubt about it. You're cold in the morning and the evening, but during the day, you lovely. It's like a summer's day. Over here, it just hits us in the teeth full time. Talking about getting hit in the teeth, it's probably a great way to get started on the Springboks. I don't really know where to start, so we'll start from the beginning. Um, Rassie formulated a plan, or the Springboks formulated a plan to get a scrum as soon as possible. Um, I have I have my thoughts on it, but I want to hear from you. Like, firstly, the execution, the plan. What did you think of? Like, what the hell just happened? 10 seconds in, there's probably guys still like getting in the seat, having a sip of beer, and then the Springboks are scrumming.
Well, I mean, I was actually watching the game in the car driving back from Craven Week from Whittle back to Joburg. So I was like, I didn't know. I thought my phone had like glitched, and I thought like maybe Manie was, but then I thought maybe Manie was like just warming up, like just like in cricket on the ball, like just like the bowler bows like mid off and just like has a few hops. So that maybe like, and then because I was like, what is going on here? Like, did you just kick it like a meter? And then obviously, like you see the replay, you're like, I wonder what's going on. Then you see, oh, okay, they're setting up for a scrum. I'm all for it to be honest with you, because you know what, like this is gonna get into the line thing as well, but like I might as well start my rant here. I fucking can't stand people who like just find ways to like go, oh, rugby needs superstars. Getting in a maverick like Henry Pollock. No, he doesn't respect the game. Rugby needs innovation. Rassie does something. Everyone goes, no, the actual law is goes against them. I'm like, the fuck do you want the game to be? Like, excuse my language, but it's frustrating. Like, what do you want rugby to be? Like, you experimented, you tried something different. And it's like, you know what? How do we get the boss? How do you catch the position of God? Do you know how you catch the position of God? If Italy knew what's going on, they could have asked for a retake. Didn't go 10. You can ask for a retake. So again, it catches them off guard. They don't know what's going on. Oh yeah, scrum, scrum, scrum. So it's like you catch the position of God. Now all of a sudden you're scrumming in 10 seconds of the game. I thought it's an idea. You're trying something. Like it's I mean, I was all for it against it catches the position of God, and knowing Rassie, like he's always doing things that adds to Springboks Arsenal, the scrum against France, the line in the middle of the field, like he's always doing things from Andre Esterhuizen playing eighth man, six, or ever anywhere but inside center. Like he's always doing something, and I thought it was great. I mean, like it shocked us, it shocked the Italians because everyone is going, oh no, like Italy, like it's against the spirit of the game. They could have literally asked for a retake. They could have double bluff Rassie and go retake. Sorry, because that's the rules. But they're also mind fucked. But everyone's like, no, he's manufacturing the game. I'm like, oh, if Italy knew what doing, they want a scrum, instead of hastily forcing a scrum, could just taking a retake. Hey, kick it back to us again. So yes, people go like you can't intentionally, but again, that's why you have these trick plays to catch people off guard. Maybe sometimes we catch the referees off guard. I thought it was brilliant, especially at the start of the game.
Absolutely. You've nailed it. But that's the whole thing. The whole thing is about catching people by surprise. The whole thing is about making people constantly think about what you're doing. The most important thing, and if you look at the game, especially like I'm obviously quite focused on the midfield and everything, but when you're like running screens and stuff, it's all about watching what's coming and making the best decision. Like if the guys are running a good attack, you will have to think about two or three players that you need to defend. Like if they're running a bad attack, you've got one guy that you get to pick off. And that's essentially what Rassie did. So yeah, my take on it is I, I thought the objective was to not kick the ball 10 and us collect it, therefore creating an opportunity for a scrum as soon as possible. Executed not as well as that, and you're 100% right. The Italy could have absolutely asked the Springboks to restart, and if they did it again, I think then the referee would have had a word because everyone's settled then. There's obviously a lot of people chatting about kicking it straight out on the full. That could result in a scrum on halfway, but also a line out. So there's that. Subsequently, we find out that Rassie's plan was to have Thomas du Toit scrum as much as possible because Thomas du Toit started at loosehead. We all know him as a swing prop, but he has been predominantly playing tight head and he's been dominating a tight head in the Premiership. So it was about that. And yeah, I thought it was great. I think the biggest part of it was, catching people off guard. And then basically what you want to do is you want to do something so you can assert your dominance on the game. Once you're on top of that, then like I wouldn't be surprised if the referee and the players were constantly thinking something's up off every restart. That's
Yeah.
also what happens for the rest of the game. Like the rest of the game, you're kind of like, we've worked on these pods. This is where they kick 85% of the time. We are sorted. Then 10 seconds into the game, they change it up totally. And then the whole time after that, you're second guessing. So
But
I think it's brilliant
you know what it is, eh? Like, I mean, again, it's like a trick play. All it does is put doubt in the opposition's head, which is what you want. And
because that's the second you need.
it's a split second you need. What are they going to do? Are they going to scrum? Are they going to do this? What's it going to do? Again, and the doubt comes from them not asking for a retake. Because then things that you could, like I said, it's the option to double bluff Rassie. Your boom, sorry, no 10, kick it off again. Like you can like we see your plan, it's not gonna work. Let's see because in the second time, for example, you try, the ref goes, don't do that again. That's intentional. It could potentially be a penalty. So there's ways to do it, like it's again, but again, it's no one expects that. No one thought it was gonna happen. So my thing is innovation like that works. You look at France for the weekend in the All Blacks first try, that peel off. What does France do in the next more? Now there's maybe one less defender in the more because you're waiting for them to peel off again. What happens? They get absolutely steamrolled. That's all a trick play does. All you need to do is put a shred of doubt in the opposition, especially in a set piece. That's all you have to do. I love
Yeah.
Rassie's I love Rassie's his tweet about like Italy like basically throwing it down the flank. Thing again, I don't mind that at all. It's the ref's job to spot that. If I'm Italy, I can want to scrum ball. I'm gonna put it down my flanker's feet. It's the ref's fault to call. If it doesn't, sorry, Springboks, I'm not gonna let you push me 20 meters. I'm just gonna get this ball in and out. The ref must pick it up. That's how we escape from scrum time. I'm all in for bending and using the rules. If they don't call it, that's fine. So I feel both. I'm all for both kickoff head going a meter and for the 10 scrum going Oaks. We're getting drilled here. I'm putting something in the lock's feet. If the ref's not going to call it, that's his business. We'll do it into when the set piece going to play. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you like. All for innovation.
Yeah. Let's talk about the second one. And this is a part of the game that I don't agree with, and I'll definitely share my thoughts afterwards. But us creating another set piece in the game. But yeah, so we set up a line out in open play, which then sets up a maul. Cooks, it's come from such and such a high school under 14 Bs. And I love the fact that all the coaches were like, it wasn't us, it was them. And it's brilliant. And we've seen it. I remember seeing that clip back in the day. But yeah, what's your thoughts on it?
Oh, that's brilliant. Again, I mean, I'm all for. Again, I'm just all for innovation and trying things because at the end of the day, that what's it, rugby insider who basically was the most just sour, grumpy, and it's like just like they only find that tweet, calling it like what did he say? Saying it was like against the spirit of the game. Like if there's one thing that should be banned in rugby after Jasper Wiese is spirit of the game. Everyone who feels something is against spirit of the game. Like fuck me. Just goes against the spirit of the game and spirit of the game and this. Like I wish I'm trying to find this tweet. Oh, when
Okay, while you hunting it, I'll give you my thoughts on it. I feel that this is probably going to get outlawed sooner rather than later. My only issue with this is when you're defending in open play, you want to close that gap between the defenders want to close that gap between themselves and the attacker as soon as possible. So you want to have a fast push and you want to then obviously stop any trick moves or anything but put people under pressure. So if you're shooting off the line, if you watch that first one, you'll see there's two Italians that I think it was Nokia that was lifted in the air. As he's lifted in the air, they both have to kind of bail out of making contact to stop an illegal action because they would have then essentially taken a man or a supporter out in the air. So that is the whole reason why I don't agree with this and don't like this is because it's a little bit more dangerous and it's putting both both the attacking and the defending side, like certain players, in harm's way. I mean, imagine there's a guy that is absolutely bolting off the line, a prop, and he comes in and he's committed, and we get that lift too late, and he takes Nokia out at the ankles, and Nokia drops. Everyone's going to freak out. A fight's going to break out. The referee's going to try and have to control things. But the bottom line is it's dangerous. And whereas the other one was not dangerous, this is dangerous, and that's why I don't like it.
I think I definitely hear what you're saying. I mean, there is an element of danger to it, but I also think again, it's not something you're gonna do like every time, right? I mean, lifting the hook in the air, like it's because technically like it's not a set piece. So again, it's like if you look at Italy, for example, like if they get in the air, all you can do is basically just stand on the other side and be like, you're gonna get in the air. I'm gonna stand and try and disrupt, and like there's no offside line because it's basically a guy just jumping in the air for no reason. So you can almost like I'm gonna get to the other side of him and try to spoil it. Like if he does bring it down, I'm gonna try and make it as mess as possible. Or, for example, if he does bring it down and no one contests and they go forward, it's obstruction. So it's all those things again. It's for me they got caught out again. You see it more. The first thing you react to is you get in. So then you go like, oh shit, we actually shot ourselves in the foot because the options are if he gets in the air, you can literally just stand like where the receiver's about to give the ball to the hookers, just stand in front of them and block that lane because you're like, ref can't say you offside. Like ref, the guys, you can't just jump in the air and create an offside line. So there's ways to negate that, and I think obviously I agree with you. Again, like it's going to be one of those things where I just think for the Springboks, like it's a play that, for example, you can do once every 2 years possibly, maybe to catch a side out. Because now, obviously, now when you play the All Blacks, all that sides they'll be watching that potential. Like, guys, when you defend the Springboks, this could come up. What's this going to happen? This could come up. This could come up. But again, it's a play that milks a penalty like that. The move, which can milk a penalty as well, because all of it in the day is it's a few oaks going, oh shit, it's going for a maul. You try and get in, and it's his biggest mistake is actually trying to contest that maul. That was the biggest mistake. That's the trap they fell into. And like Rugby Insider saying it's like dull, against the spirit of the game. Like I don't know. Like guys, spirit of the game is whether it's in cricket, whether it's in rugby. Like we need to get rid of this like spirit of the game thing. Like because like we saw Japan posting sweeping the sheds again. Like that's what we're back there now. Like that's what we're going back to. Like I get it. Yes, we know rugby's got values, but like spirit of the game. Like so basically, we just have no ingenuity again and watch how they play rugby in the 80s and all just fucking running into each other and just ruck and more. Like then I saw someone saying, I must when the Boks actually just was just physical and kick the ball all the time because then no one tuned us in. So like I don't know what Rasmus do like because when you kick it we go boring. Then we try different stuff and we're geniuses. I mean, if England did that, I mean, they'll be praising their horrors. I mean, we literally love a game that one guy decided one day while playing soccer committed the biggest handball in the world and picked the ball up and ran with it. Now we fucking love this game, but now, lo and behold, Rassie Erasmus does something different. Like I don't think it'll be outlawed, but I think it will be. I think the kickoff one will definitely be saying, guys, you call it that's obviously it's like it's intentional. I think that will be like, guys, do that's a penalty or free kick to the opposition. But this one, I mean, again, I understand the element of danger, but Sharky, the same thing can happen in any form. Guys go out for a hard ball, you clip him, boom, something like that. That's unfortunately the game we play.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
And Thala, we're gonna welcome you. Oh, he's gone. I don't know. Are you there, Thala?
Yes, yes, yes. Good evening.
Hi. We just chatting about the
Yeah.
kickoff start and the line out option, and then we're going to jump onto the elephant in the room, Jasper. But what are your thoughts on both of those incidents? Is probably the safest way to put it.
Yeah, look, yeah, like Cooks' general point I agree with. Like we can't we if we try to stop innovation in this game's gonna get very plain and boring very quickly. Like we talk about all these things that are killing the game. It's sort of us trying to limit Rassie clearly being one of the most innovative coaches we've had. I mean, it's him and Harry Viljoen who refused to kick in his first game as a Springbok coach, basically. But if we do that, we're going to stop what makes this game special. I think I agree with essentially what everyone said. Sean, yeah, I mean, I think the problem is safety and the potential for things to go wrong there. So I don't think it should be done like that in open play. I think, yeah, you can obviously form a wall in open play. That's fine. Springboks have done that before. But yeah, the lifting aspect of it, I think, is just dangerous. And yeah, like it's unnecessary danger that we don't need to bring into the game. So I think that part should be curtailed. With the kick forward, I think then, yeah, that's probably something that will also have a change in law just because of how blatant it was. I mean, I just wish, never mind Esterhuizen being pretty much like a meter ahead. Manie, can you at least try to kick it a little bit, like hang it in the air just a little bit, just to
Yeah.
make it just give us the benefit of doubt there. But yeah, obviously people are overreacting to it. That's not necessary. It's a cool thing, it's a new thing, and obviously like it's also within rugby's rights to try and then be like, oh, this is a gap, we then fill that gap, or we sort of change things. Same thing France did with the DuPont law and sort of hanging back with the kicks and not sort of going all the way back. They exploited that well, and that also helped with their forwards being rested as well. And this is how rugby grows. This is how sport grows. This is how the world grows. Is you do Cooks does something cool. I'm like, oh, that's nice. And then I improve on it. Then Sean sees it and then he improves on it. That's how things happen. So we must always keep that in mind. So yeah, it's cool that we have a coach that feels like he has the freedom. Obviously, he has won 2 World Cups and just the brain. And obviously, I think him and Tony Brown are probably just encouraging each other, nudging each other with just, oh, have you seen this crazy thing? Oh, do you remember when Liba Sopoaga did the kick backwards? Like, I think these guys are just basically hyping each other to try and find the craziest ways to do things. So obviously keeps the opposition on their toes. And yeah, I mean, you can always say there's always a risk that either things don't work out or you become too gimmicky. But at the moment, the Springboks are able to just balance that surprise element with their traditional strengths.
Can also be like, say, like you said about being too gimmicky. I mean, if there's ever a time to experiment with Springboks, it's probably now. You're playing Italy and Georgia with all due respect, like games that we should win and comfortably as well. So if there's time to experiment like wild plays, it's probably now. And also, I think that for me, the innovations and things like it shows that rugby is sort of like rugby goes in trends where it's attack dominant. Then it's the rush defense comes in. Then it goes into defensive in a defensive place. Like you probably say the last, would say post 25th, like just like 2017 to like 2023, it was a massive defensive time in rugby, like rush defense. Everyone is trying to rush. Everyone's trying to blitz. Kicking game has gone to a different level. Team kick differently. Are you kicking contestables? Or are you kicking like France kicking deep? So like the game got very, very extremely tactical, especially without ball in hand. But now it feels like attack is sort of starting to creep back in the game. And I think Rassie is also and Tony Brown are starting with getting Tony Brown are starting to sort of figure that out. Like guys, we need to sort of try and find different ways now to get behind the rush defense, find different ways to create set pieces for us for our strength. So how do we catch the opposition in different ways? So it shows I think there is an attacking sort of element that's coming in. You look at England now against Argentina, they're finding different ways to attack. They're going, we can't win games like how we won in 2019 World Cup right and now, especially 2023. So it's like, and the Springboks are in the same place. So we need to find ways. Yes, we are physical. yes, we've got rush defense, but teams are working their way around a rush defense. If it feels like there's a way to get through rush defense, whether it's through kicking, whether it's each year, teams are finding different ways to sort of attack. And I think innovation like this, where and like we will know like in test matches, sometimes you do need a moment of magic out of the blue. But I feel like the moment of magic now is going to come through attacking innovation as opposed to defensive one because everyone's rushing now. Like no one knows what's the next big thing in defense. Because all because there's a rush defense and no one could stop it, and now it's like okay, attack's sort of figuring it out now until maybe attack with defense finds the next big thing, whatever Jacques Nienaber is working on. I'm sure he's cooking something in the lab there for next year, but I think attack is starting to get the dominance again, hence all the innovations.
Yeah, there's a very good, just want to make the point that there's a very good video by Squid Rugby talking about this development in attack, and that especially a lot of the club teams, the teams that were doing well were the most attacking teams, the ones that had the most ball in hand, and were basically trying to almost limit the amount of rucks they have. That's why France goes absolutely crazy with offloads, and Toulouse does the same as well. It's because he had that stat that your probability of scoring a try, if you go through, I think, a phase or two phases, goes down by like 60% or something crazy like that. So this is now where the game is going. And I think the other factor is because the next World Cup is in Australia in sort of late spring, early summer. So we know it's going to be hard grounds and good running and all that sort of stuff. Like, there's not going to be a chance of like that pouring of rain that we had in the semis and the final in the last World Cup. So you want to build a game that's sort of built for those conditions. So I think Rassie and Tony Brown sort of saw this early, even from last year, that, okay, we're going to now incorporate the attacking game, because I think the World Cup finals, I mean, finals are finals, but also I think the final will still be I think the final could be like a 35-30 type of game instead of it being like a 15-12 type of game. So I think that's just where rugby's going. So it's cool just to seeing how these different coaches are adjusting to it. And I mean, Kooks also mentioned with the trick plays with the All Blacks, like those lineup variations absolutely bamboozled France. So it's really cool seeing teams and coaches just cooking.
Yeah. Yeah. On to the last major negative in the Springboks, Jasper Wiese, we've just found out now has been banned for 4 games. So he misses Georgia, the 2 games against Australia, and the first game against the All Blacks. We figured we may have a bit of a problem at hook at 8th man, but it seems Rassie's already got a plan for that, which we'll chat on later. Listen, Jasper, it deserved it of a red card, deserved it of a ban. I actually think this ban is quite a nice ban. Like it's not too long, it's not too short. It's kind of like in the middle, like where no one's happy with it. So sweet. I know Jasper Wiese did admit to foul play, but they did say that he thought that it may not have been a red card, which is essentially just telling us that what he did was he tried to get heads coming together, except he took a little bit of a longer run up than he should have. Like that was basically what happened. Like they're trying to get their heads together to do it, and a little bit of rush of blood. It's foul play, absolutely not condoning it, but yeah, it sucks. And I mean, SuperSport going above and beyond to bring the most amazing content. They interview him straight afterwards to find out what happened and why it happened, and then to talk about his brother making his debut, because it was supposed to be an amazing day for the Wiese family. Thala, I mean, we were just all like, shit, man, this is such a terrible, terrible space.
Look, the problem for Jasper as well is he's earned a reputation for these moments of ill discipline. And, it follows you around. You don't have the benefit of the doubt. You can ask the Buckies, the Skulks, those sort of players, that you don't want that sort of black cloud following you around, because it can cost you in a bigger game. Obviously, the Springboks will back themselves beating Italy with 14, maybe even 13 men. But if that's, New Zealand or Ireland or France, that's a different story. So that's the frustrating thing, is there was obviously early in the career, we were all saying Jasper's a penalty machine and a yellow card machine. Then there seemed to be an improvement, kind of 2022, 2023, when it seemed like, oh, okay, he's matured, he sorted that out now, he's like taking responsibility. Obviously, he was great, especially in that final scrum when he basically held back the whole of New Zealand when he carried the ball. It was great there. But, it was a crazy clear out last season. It was this sort of head kiss this season. Like, you can't do that. So I think Wiese's lucky this wasn't 8 to 10 weeks, because his previous ban for the unsafe clear out was 6 weeks, right, Sean? Or 8, I think.
Yeah, it was a bit harsh at the time, to be fair.
So this not being 8 or even more, 10 to 12 weeks, I think that's a big positive for Wiese. Like, I almost said he must go back to preseason for Leicester. Obviously, he's in Japan now, so it doesn't really matter, because I think the Japanese season starts in November anyway. So look, maybe he just wants to go back to the farm and just spend some time there. Like, there's other ways of trying to get time off. Like, I think we had the situation with Steven Kitsoff in 2022 when he was trying to play he was playing every game. It was like, maybe Kitsy needs to get like a band to do something. So maybe this is Wiese's way of just trying to get some time off. And look, as an employee, I think we're all employees. Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah. Kooks, listen, it's not great and you can add to it, but once you're finished, I definitely want to talk about how we stopped Italy from scoring, even though we had 14 men.
And I think that's a great part, Sharky. Also quickly on the Jasper thing, it's like, unfortunately, like, people are calling it soft and things like that. I'm like, some people are like, guys, if you lead your head, you put yourself in trouble. That's the sad reality. And the way of the law, and that's what happened. Yeah, I think, well, to be fair, we only have to make 50 tackles, Shark, with 14 minutes. So it's just like, hey, for poor Italy, I mean, it felt like when they had the ball, someone would either pass it out or like obviously, like, I mean, I thought, I mean, like, to be blunt, I thought Italy were poor on the weekend. Jeez, I thought they were poor. Like defensively, like, they just, when they went, like, I wouldn't say that they were slipping tackles. They just, like, how they only got, was it 2 yellow cards? I think they could have gone 4 or 5. It was ridiculous, the amount of like when they're gonna warnings. Like, they tried their utmost best to stop any sort of momentum the Springboks had, but out of the 50 tackles the Springboks had to make, sure, I thought we were very good. I'm very, very happy we kept them to naught. I also like to dominate possession. I mean, with 14 minutes, they were down to 13. But sort of dominate possession, I thought, I thought Manie was good on the weekend. I mean, Edward was fantastic as man of the match. Andre Esterhuizen was, I mean, like, unsung hero, but he was all over the place and he was good as well. I mean, Canan Moodie, like, I mean, he was good as well. So, like there was such positivity on the weekend. Grant Williams, guys, Grant Williams is the best nine in South Africa. That's no longer a debate now. Let's
Southern Hemisphere, maybe even the world.
Like, let's figure out. Yeah, 100%. I mean, when Luku is still playing rugby, Sharky, don't forget. You look at, like, the performance of the Springboks with 4-2, man. There's so much positive. Like I said, Grant, for me, I know, like, we love seeing Grant with his pace and cover wing. Let's figure someone else can be a super sub. Grant has to play 65 minutes. He has to play the bulk of the minutes. Then 5 can come off the bench. They can even get Louis Shore to come off the bench. I don't care what they do with the reserve scrum of Rassie and the guys. Just as long as Grant is wearing number 9 and he's playing, his game has evolved so much. His kicking game is fantastic. His passing. Now you add all of that then to his pace and his sniping ability. I mean, those A and B defenders, Italy was sweating whenever he had the ball in hand. But again, 0 for the Boks to concede a point with 13 or 14 men, but it did kind of also feel like Italy were trying their best not to score or not to actually keep the ball in hand, but we take it and run.
Yeah, I mean, just to talk about the poorness of the Italy performance. So Italy in the last, Gonzalo Quesada was brought on in order to try and, I mean, Kian Crowley, like, helped the attack, and the attack was quite good, actually really good at some times. They were able to really just tear teams apart and score tries, but they didn't have that solidity, which is why France and New Zealand, especially in the World Cup, just pasted them by 50 plus points. So Quesada was supposed to be the more pragmatic coach that's supposed to give some structure and to build for that for Italy, which kind of happened in the first Six Nations, I think, more for all intents and purposes. But now, yes, this is not Italy's first team, but they get beaten by, they concede 45 points this week, 42 points last week. in the Six Nations, they conceded 47 points against England, 73 points against France. And sorry, I'm just trying to get to the Scotland one. I think it's also in the 30s to 40s against Scotland as well. So something isn't quite happening there. And that's now the question for Quesada is 31 points against Scotland. The question for Quesada is, okay, the attack is not as fluent as it was under Crowley. Like, as we talked about now that the game's changing to an attacking game, but it seems like Italy's being left behind. Like, there's moments of magic between Breaks and Meloncello. We know that. We know that Capuozzo can do something. We know that, they've got really good wings. We know that Garbisi can drive the game. We know that Vincent and Zuliani and those sort of players are great with ball in hand. But it seems like the attack has been sacrificed to become a more solid team, to kick well, to kick more, because we thought for a time with Crowley that the Nines were not allowed to kick. But now it seems like that's been sacrificed, but also the defense isn't really improving and it's kind of getting worse. So not that the Italy or Quesada should be under pressure because of the results in South Africa. No one really expected them to do much better, even though they're playing a second string South African team. But Italy needs to and Quesada needs to just sort of take this as like, okay, there's a halfway point between the World Cups. Are we still going in the right direction? Or have we just assured that we're not as bad as losing 18 in a row like Wales did? And I thought Italy was sort of at that stage where maybe they're not as good as Australia and Argentina and Scotland and that, and Fiji and that sort of like 6 to 9 spot in the world rankings. But I thought they'd be, within touching distance of that. And it seems like they're still a step or so behind. So that's really concerning. And just a quick stat on that is Italy, had so little of the ball. They had like 32% possession. They only formed 39 rucks in the game. So they had 17 lineouts and 6 scrums, which means they had 23 opportunities to have first phase ball. Now, obviously, because they lost almost half their lineouts, that didn't really materialize. But you have 23 opportunities to have first phase ball. You only are able to make 39 rucks. That's not good. Like, you're not able to keep the ball. So yeah, we have to look at pretty much everything because nothing really worked, especially in the second test. Like, what's happening with your set piece? What's happening with your rucking? What's happening with your phase play? What's happening with your shape? What's happening with your defense? What's happening with your kicking game? There's so many things that I think Quesada has to almost like not start again, but he has to really just investigate and be like, okay, what are we actually good at, and what can we build on in order for this team to be not just Then the standard of beating Wales, like, we're past that now, and Wales is, they've just won a game, so maybe they're on their way to a 19-match win streak, but the standard needs to improve for Italy. That's my big concern for them.
The only person that stood out for Italy was Ross Vincent. Like, he was everywhere. He was tackling everything. He made more turnovers than anyone. It was ridiculous. Italy really just kind of sat back. It's almost like that moment by the Springboks in the first 5 seconds of the game really got in their head, like, because they just weren't there at all for the rest of the game. But we'll go from the forwards to the back so we can finish on the Centurion. The one person that we definitely all been talking about and very quietly went about his business, but went about it really well, was Pieter-Steph du Toit. It's his first time that he's come back and played in I don't know how long, whacks out 80 minutes, and it's almost like he had never left. Kooks, is he going to be with us forever?
Like, I loved how, like, people, like, this is how, like, people talk about Pieter-Steph, like, obviously, roll out 80 minutes. This is how good he is. I mean, I was like, I wasn't even surprised. I was like, oh, Pieter-Steph's back. He's just doing Pieter-Steph du Toit things, I guess, for 80 minutes. And, like, that's, I think, the standard, and that's where he is at the moment. Like, not that you take it for granted. You're just like, this dog's one of the best players. He's the best player in the world. I mean, he's reigning world player of the year. And you're like, it's a different level the Sharky operates on. Like, it doesn't shock you when he just rolls out of bed plays 80 minutes. He's probably one of the most important players, if not the most important player. I mean, the forwards is the only one in big games who plays 80 minutes. And for me, like having him back was fantastic. I know he's playing again this weekend. It does kind of feel like with Rassie, obviously, they want to get him obviously games under the belt to get him ready for obviously the rugby championship and then the year. And Peter's a funny one because he also like starts like he tends to sort of like build his motor up. Obviously, depending on the game, the game, the bigger he is. And you could see like as the game sort of went on, he got better and better and better and better. And I think obviously it allows us to be a little bit more expansive. You know, we spoke about in the first test how direct you were because we're a different type of opens blindside flanker in Vincent Chichuka. But now with Peter Steph, obviously how good he is in the trams, how good he is out wide. It's going to be interesting this weekend, obviously with him and Sia back. That's going to be great to see how we operate in the tram this weekend. But I mean, guys, this is the best player in the world. I mean, well, I don't know. One day it's Audie. When Audie plays at 9 o'clock, the New Zealand say he's the best in the world, and then obviously the one the Lions players play, this is a European player. But guys, this is the reigning world player of the year. I mean, like until someone wins it in the year, then that's how you take his crown off. But I think he's loading himself up for a very big year.
Yep, like a good diesel engine, just start off slowly and then just keep going, but he'll go forever once he gets the momentum. Thala, we spoke a little bit about Grant Williams. We all really saw that in the beginning. We saw what he had and what he offered, and then he was deployed at wing, and we're like, okay, we got to have him on the bench so he can cover, and we got 7-1, yada yada. But I want to talk about Manie. Manie's had a couple of what could be classified as good games. And it's all of a sudden that all those haters, there seemed to be a lot of plastic hate coming his way. Like a lot of guys that were just jumping on that bandwagon. Oh, he can't kick, he must be shit. Get rid of him, get rid of him. And now everyone's like, yeah, this is the Manie I remember. This is what he's got. Manie's now putting pressure on other 10s. He is like Sasha can move to 15 if Manie needs to play 10. Where previously we were like, Sasha is the 10, the only 10. Move Damien. Andre's on his way out. Sasha's the one. But now everyone's warming back up to Manie.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem with Manie was that he can't kick for poles, and we have to have like basically minders on the field to make sure that we can at least still take 2 and 3 points. So I mean, even last year, like the attack was there. Obviously it was like you could see there was a bit of a crisis of confidence, but the attack was there and like the general play was still fine. It was just that anytime it was ball on tee, then things got a bit haywire. And now
when Pete's on.
Yeah, now he looks. I mean, Manie's never been a fantastic kicker. He can kick fantastic kicks, but as long as he's able to be in that 70 to 75% range, that's okay. Like
that's what we signed up for. We knew it.
Yeah, and I mean, you can always say, look, he'll get you one try more than most fly halves. And similar to when we talk about England, I want to make the same point. Like England's in a place now, they have 4 test level 10s. And if your third choice 10 is George Ford, you're in a great position. If your third choice 10 for Springboks is Manie Libbok, you're in a great position. So I think we need to also just take him for what he is right now. Is he putting big pressure on the other 10s? I don't necessarily think so, but I think at least they know. I mean, last year, Sasha could, Sasha literally almost put his career in danger by playing when he was injured. But that had no real consequence because the other 10 wasn't really playing well, and we were almost trying to nurse him back to form. Now, we know Pollard can have a bad few weeks or games as well, and there wasn't really any pressure for him a few years ago because it was Alton Yankee struggling, it was Manie Libbok sort of trying to find his feet. But now there is at least some pressure for all 3 of them. Is look, I can't really put my game down. There's that crazy youngster that does the ridiculous things in Sasha. There's the 2-time World Cup winner in Andre Pollard. There's the URC winner, the World Cup starter in the quarterfinal and the semi-final, probably one of the better attacking 10s in the world right now in Manie Libbok. So that's good pressure. So I hope Manie is happy. Obviously, I don't think he's going to be satisfied with being third choice, but I hope Manie is also just satisfied with himself that the game is where it should be. That's all we needed from him. I am more than happy. And yeah, I mean, obviously fans have the right to be fans. They can be very high and very low when they want to be. But I think at least for the good job on the Springbok coaching staff, that they weren't too high when maybe when things were going well, they were too low and things were going badly. Like, just trust him and just put enough games in him that you know that if Pollard is now for real injured long term or misses a World Cup, whatever the case is, Sasha and Manie is like, okay, we're still fine. It's
Yeah.
not a case of Faf, have you practiced kicking this week?
Yeah. That's, the big thing from like Manie spent his whole life trying to prove people wrong. And then it came good at the Stormers. He went on to win the URC, get into the Springboks, and he was cooking for the Boks when we were really thin at 10. And then it kind of fell away, and everyone was like, yeah, we told you. Like, this is what Manie is. And now he's come back again, and that's the part that I find so heartwarming is he's again gone and just said, I am better. Watch me. I'll show you. And like, it's lovely because people are also starting to see the value in depth and see the value in multiple people with multiple sort of arrows in their quiver.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, like, also his last 4 years are one of the craziest 4 years for a rugby player. Like, I mean, we have the Tyke Burn stories of him playing fifth team rugby and Thibaut Flamand, like those are also quite crazy. But Manie went from like pretty much third choice and kicked out from the Bulls, second choice and kicked out from the Sharks, comes to the Stormers. We were also like not sure with him at the Stormers. I mean, there was a bit of uncertainty. He then gets to Cook and he wins the URC. Then he's a Springbok. Then he's a regular Springbok. Then he's starting knockout games for the Springboks, World Cup knockout games. So the ups went really quickly. It's not like he had he was a junior Bok. Then he was, he was in the Craven week before. Then junior Bok. Then, started for the Stormers, all that sort of stuff. He had such a quick ascent. I think it's also just his body was probably just adjusting to, hey, I'm not playing just 6 months or 8 months of the year like the other URC or Currie Cup players. Or, hey, I'm not playing every second game when Jake White remembers I exist and is not playing Mornay Steyn and the corpse of Mornay Steyn. It's actually now I'm playing 8 to 10 months in the year. I'm now resting in February during the Six Nations. I'm not really part of the Stormer squad as much as I used to be. I think we must also just be aware that he's in a way he's not supposed to be here because his career trajectory just went from, okay, he's going to just be a middling like Burton Francis type of level player to, oh, he's starting in a World Cup semi-final. And that happened so quickly for him. So I think he was just adjusting to everything that changed now in the last few years that happened now.
I think also Thala, like Manie also falls in that Maverick, route where like flaws like that, it feels like there's always something to criticize. If you try things, you'll get them. I mean, Sharky, I'm sure you'll get to Willie now, but like it's like unfortunately players like that, they're great. Everyone loves them at the beginning, and then say a few mistakes creep in of Martin's kicking for poles. That we're not justifying him is kicking for poles, but it's funny when people are criticizing his style of play, and you're like, no man, Knox, no, 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 no. Or they were like, the Stormers is forcing this pass. I'm like, they're all trying to create stuff from every touch. So it's not just a Manie thing, but when Manie is cooking and he's playing as well as that, like it's just there's a certain zip that not even Sasha can get up backline to do that. Not even 100. There's a few handful flavs that can play the way Manie does, and it's not he's the best of the African attacking flavs. Not the best attacking in the world. It's a special breed to be able to see space and like Manie is one of the few tens who are still able to hit a line and throw feels like a 15, 20 meter pass at full speed, attacking the line. Is like not many guys can do that. I mean, so that's the thing of being a maverick though. But then he'll try it sometimes get picked off or gets the intercept or someone runs a long line and go, oh, there he goes trying the stuff again. And you're like, but you can't praise him for that last week and then be angry with him this week for it. So and it's funny now, like I saw a tweet, Manie got Manie knocked him a quick. I was like, yeah, this is the Manie we know. This is like now when he kicks well, his passing improves. Like I'm like, no, the kicking is one separate issue. Everything else is fine. Everything else is like at 8, 9 out of 10. It's just the only thing. Like that's the only thing. If Manie kicked at 80%, you probably be the best five in the world. Like that's the only thing that's like holding him back.
Yeah. Cooks, I'm going to stay with you. We're going to chat about the midfield, but I feel like we're going to chat about the midfield and part forward because Rassie's like, I mean, imagine being Italy and then you get whacked with three times innovation. You get a kick restart innovation, you get a line out in the midfield, and then you get Andre Esterhuizen who's moonlighting as a flank, as a line out jumper, as an eighth man, and then he's steamrolling the planet from 12. Um, Unbelievable effort from him. And the other one I want to chat about is Moodie at 13. I know, like, I've got to listen to myself because I was like, we need to take time with him. But it's the nuances of defense which I want to see him pressurize more at, and we'll see it this weekend again, hopefully. But my only gripe I have with Moodie, he's still got a winger's mentality. Against the All Blacks, he had numbers and he chose to run over three people. He did it again on Saturday when Willie was there. For me, like I'm all for it, and it's great to see. I just as a midfielder, the second that man turns his shoulders into you, that's your opportunity to pass because that's where the percentage play is. But other than that, and I am being a little bit picky, but other than that, I thought our midfield was great. But it's hard because Andre wasn't playing in the midfield. It's weird. We had a decent 13 and we didn't have a 12.
No, I mean that doesn't help me.
Sean just called Canan Moodie, Canan Ioane, I think.
Yeah. I think
We can talk about this if you want, because we I don't want to fall in a 6-year problem.
No, but I think again, Sharky, it's the problem is, I mean, I do think he's already a little bit like probably beyond where Rico was at 30, like early on in the beginning phase of his career. I think Rico when he was at wing, I mean, obviously then like it's so developed as like he moved at like 26, 20, like 25, 26, you're like, oh geez, but now you're doing it like at tilt. But with Moodie, it's an interesting one. I thought he was great on the weekend. He's got an incredible. I mean, he's such a balanced runner. You know, like he's strong and like the running ability and pace was to hurt anyone at 13. The hard thing for me is that I think he needs reps at 13. Like those things defensively, those are things that you learn. But the thing is also to learn it even in bad games. If almost going now at 20 or 22, like you're gonna play you're gonna play 13 for the next 2 years, every week at 13. That's what we're doing. The games you don't play at 13 will cover, but you are 13. Learn the nuances of a 13. I still believe he's a wing. I think his best positions is at 14. You know, I saw like obviously someone's like, oh, in a different country with his ability to like 50 cats by now. Guys, he's behind Chase and Colby and Curtly Aronson. Like that's the only reason why he doesn't have more cats. It's not an ability thing. It's not what he's done. It's just the competition in front of him. But yes, he has the ability to play 13. I would love him on the wing, and I think obviously Sharky, all the thing for me that comes with time. He's not a natural. It doesn't look like a natural distributor. I think it's something that can be improved. You do get 13s where it just comes and go like you watch like a Gary Rose and like a Hugh Jones, for example, like when they play 13 in terms of being able to run into space, catch pass, no defender comes, put a guy in the corner. There was a try the Lions scored on Wednesday where they had an overlap. Bundy actually sort of dropped it short for Gary Ringrose, who hit an incredible line, but within catching that ball, he runs such a great line where the fullback had to sort of, I mean, the wing had to, I mean, the fullback, sorry, had to sort of bite in. But between getting it's 1-2 step, ball gets out immediately. And those are nuances of someone who's played 13 basically the whole career. And like, you look at someone like Gary Ringrose, for example, his distribution sort of got better as the year went. You look at like even someone like a Jacques Fourie when he moved to 13, he was all hard runner. Boom. Like ran hard. I mean, he hit incredible lines, but all that part of the game, that 13 sort of gets developed naturally. Like him, Jacques Fourie played fullback and wing. He was a utility back before he made 13 his home. So you watch, like, I think all 13s are different. I think that's the thing with Moodie. He's trying to figure out what sort of 13 does he want to be? What mold is he going to be? Because like I'm looking at the ones you produced in the past. Like you look at Eddie Jacobs, he's an out and out creative 13. Like he's born to on attack, was born to play 13. Knows which lines to hit, when to give, when to pass. Like, and some guys are like the big runners, like a Tana Umaga, like his passing game sort of developed late, but he moved from the wing to 13. And I mean, that's big praise I'm giving Moodie, but he's got the natural ability. You look at the way he plays, and I think he is the defending part again. It's just for me, it's just time in the saddle because he's going from not playing 13 for months, the last couple of months of the Bulls, and then like, hey, play 13 against Manie in a test match. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Like, so that's the thing. But I thought he was very good as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like he's young, so and I totally hear you there. He has the ability to grow quicker in that space because of his age. He's got a bit of well, not a bit. He's got the foundation of 13. But the one thing that I absolutely love about him is he's got that momentum stopping read on defense where he can shoot up and absolutely smoke you. That Gary Ringrose setup. Like Gary Ringrose is probably one of the best in the world at it currently. That's great to see. I do agree with you though. For me, if I had to make a call, I would be like, you stay at 14 because you are definitely a 14. It's a lot more natural for him in senior and test rugby to play 14. We are, however, in a space where we have another guy called Ethan Hooker who's in the mix, and that changes things a little bit. And the other question, or the other kind of thought process I have is Moodie being moved because they don't see a future for him at wing, because he's not going to ever really force his way into first choice with the wings that we have coming up. Like that's the other thought process that I'm having. I'm like, what is the plan here? But he's definitely going to be in my squad. Like I'm not trying to throw this guy away. I just want to make that clear. I'm not convinced on 13 yet, but I am very well aware that I was the one that said it does take time.
Can I just say, like, I mean, it's a great point you raised. I don't think it's necessary to move him away from the wing. I mean, one thing we've learned about the Springboks is they value utility. They value being able to cover multiple positions. I think there's a depth issue at 13 that we're trying to address, right? I mean, not Jesse. I mean, Jesse's our starter, but Jesse obviously is say 32 now. No, sorry, he's 30 this year. How old is Jesse? 31. I think 31 was on. Yes, 31 this year. So obviously he's got enough leg time to get to the next World Cup. But then you're thinking, Lukhanyo Am has been quite injury prone. Then it's who's next, which is the question. Now the problem is it's you've got a Ethan Hooker who's been on the wing most of the time for the Sharks. Do you go a Stedman Khans who's been injured for the Bulls? And so it's like the options are it's Hooker and Moodie. And Moodie probably has the inside lane on Ethan Hooker having played there against the All Blacks. So it's also giving him enough reps because Jesse Kriel can't play every single test match. And what's going to happen if he does go down? So I don't and the thing for Moodie is there's enough covered wing at the moment at 14. So it's almost like, okay, cool, if push comes to shove, we've got Edwell who comes on his play well. So now I was like, okay, cool. Let's get reps in Moodie and 13. I think from what I'm seeing is the Boks sort of see him slightly ahead of Hooker at the moment. Hooker's also just come in the fold. So I don't think necessarily it's going, we don't see you as a full-time winger. Because also remember, Chiz is also over 30. Kurtlis is like I said, so I'm saying is like they still, Moody's 22. So I mean he can still he's still got lots of time, even post, when you get to the next World Cup, he's 24. So there's still room for him to have a long career at either position. But I think right now where Rassie is thinking, if Lukhanyo Am, for example, isn't available to get to the next World Cup, we need to make sure that him at 13, Moody's getting reps at 13.
The big thing for me, I think, is going to be almost a game changer is that Moody's playing with De Lendi this weekend. And it's the first time that they've paired up as starters in the midfield. That's going to be big for me. Obviously, Damien's played a bit of 13 for the Springboks, so I think that pairing is the one that I really want to watch, and I want to see. Not taking anything away from Andre Esterhuizen, obviously it was a little bit disruptive this weekend with Esterhuizen kind of playing everywhere. But yeah, it was. It's going to be interesting to see going forward. Thala, our wingers. My Pimpy, like Peter Steph Toy, is just going to be around forever. That guy is insane. He's hungry. He's ridiculously motivated. He's looking super fit. He doesn't take a backward step for anyone. It's amazing. And then we've got Edwin van der Merwe on the wing, who's got the most amazing strike rate and man of the match strike rate ever.
Yeah, I mean, no real complaints there. Like we also know how good both of them are. Obviously, Mapimpi, like, he's established himself as a Springbok legend and not a bad player to call up upon if you need, if one of Colby Arends is not available. And it will, yeah, I mean, he had that test against Wales and then he was injured, which was really unfortunate because I thought last season was fantastic. This season, I don't think he was like shooting the lights out for the Lions, but obviously, also, I don't really think there were other wingers, maybe except Seb de Klerk, that were showing that form in the URC. But he showed there in that game that he's still got the goods. He's still a really good player. And I think the hope for him is that he gets, a game against, the Wallabies, or Argentina, or maybe even the All Blacks now later, so that he can be sort of tested against that sort of high level of position because he's played Wales, he's played Italy. Obviously, like we said, they're in 10th or below in the rankings, and Georgia are around that area as well. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to him playing against the better opposition, just so we can know, okay, how good he really is. But 2 man of the matches, you can't really argue with that. So yeah, just really good performances from both of them.
Yeah, and he's I know he's a short winger with a scrum cap, so it's easy to say he looks like Chesney and Kirtley, but he's got that same vibe. Like he carries himself the same way. He's got that same step and shoot. Like it's ridiculous. Like the nice thing about him is he's not a pioneer in this space where he has to kind of prove to everyone that he can play against Australia and the All Blacks. Like we kind of know, listen, this system works. So, we'll carry on with what we know. It's taken a while, but Willie le Roux, 100 caps, a man that has been super polarizing, still got plenty haters out there. Such an amazing achievement. And I mean, who can forget that during the 2019 World Cup, he basically told Rassie, I don't know if it was before the World Cup or during the actual World Cup, he was like, listen, just drop me, forget about it. Everyone doesn't want me to be involved. I'm not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was, number one, they won, so that's better than at least half of the other 100 Test caps. But yeah, I think he played well. I think the funny thing though is seeing that he had 0 tackles in the game. I mean, obviously the Boks, no one really had more than 4 or 5 tackles, so it's not like a game where he was avoiding it. But this was probably the most perfect Willie le Roux game. He came in and did some creative stuff. He needs to do less with Manie Libbok, so he could sort of coast on that a little bit. He put in a few, grubbers and passes through for the finishers, and he didn't have to work that hard in defense. Like, I think that's just the perfect day for him. So yeah, very glad for him. Congratulations to him. Yeah, I mean, it was weird, not weird, but like when you see the other 7 players that have 100 caps who are, I mean, okay, don't hear what I'm not saying. Willie le Roux is a Springbok legend. He's obviously one of the best sort of attackers and creators in world rugby in the last 10 years. But when you see the likes of like Percy and Beast and John Smith and Victor Matfield and Brian Aban and Eben Etzebeth, then you see Willie le Roux, you're like, interesting. Like, not because he's not as because he's not as good as them, but he's still obviously fantastic. But it's also just like it's like I said, I think on the Friday podcast, his career tells the story of South African rugby in the last 12 or so years of some good times, some sort of like we're good but not as good as the 2015 All Blacks. Then obviously, conveniently for him and his winning percentage, not really there for the Alistair Coetzee years, but the Boks really weren't there for the Alistair Coetzee years, to be fair. Comes back for Rassie, comes back, after getting that sort of training from Wasps, similar to Rassie coming back once he got, that extra training at Munster. The ups and downs of the Rassie era and, him proving himself and him being almost like a surprise package. And then just being that sort of constant that we know that if he's playing, he's not maybe as great as he was 3 or 4 years ago, but geez, he can still do a job. And, he was important in finishing, those quarterfinal, semi-final matches against France and England. So he's still, yeah, he's still got it. And it's, again, similar to the Libbok conversation. If Willie le Roux is your third choice fullback, the Willie le Roux that was probably one of the best fullbacks in the URC this season, you're in a good place.
Kooks?
Yeah, I mean, I think with Willie, I think for me, it's probably it's a career and with Springboks where I think he'll be celebrated after he's done properly. When you look back and go, and like what he's done, and like Thala, you mentioned, like, like, I mean, obviously we have absolute legends in that other 100 and Willie's in that mix as well. And I think because he's got so much, he's a polarizing figure, right? Because every weekend it's, oh, Willie's great, he's back him. Because like, oh, but he can't catch a high ball. No, he's back. And like, especially like during the 2019 World Cup, it was at its peak, polarizing Willie's influence. Like, you go like, oh, but he's a main attacker, but no, but he can't catch a high ball, but even though he's got a shoulder injury. And it's always, it feels like, and it's so weird with Willie because you guys remember his debut season, like the whole country wanted Willie to be in the side. Like he's so different. He plays a different way. And then you got to a point like half the country's like, can we done with this work? Like, we need someone solid at 15, not to like, but I love Willie a lot. I mean, I've always said one of the best players to watch live, just to watch how he organizes his defense, organizes attack, the things he does to sort of create space, the communication. Like it's a marvel to watch him live. I think the older he gets, the better he is to watch live. And the amount of control he has, like especially with the Bulls, like the attack has gone up. They're a good attacking side, but with Willie there, it's gone up tenfold. And it's not because of like it's so like obviously Willie like is like when he first came through with the goose steps, but now it's like as his legs have sort of gone, his mind is operating at a different level. Then I just feel like if he was Kiwi or if he was Australian, he'd be celebrated a lot more because of what he does. I think for us is again, sometimes we're so quick to harp on mistakes and what these guys get wrong. We forget like what they get right. I mean, like Willie's got over 50 assists. I think Jared has stat was only like current players like Burton Barrett and guys like that who've got over 50 assists. Like he's one of three who've created in terms that's incredible. That's up there one of the best attackers in the world. But we always sometimes harp on the negative, especially with players like Villiers, like mine. Oh, no, but like, wow, we passed the ball after that time. I'm like, oh, because fucking trying something. Everyone else is running sideways. You're like everyone's standing there, like waiting for a ruck or more. That's why he's trying to do something. Like, how many times you watch a box side where there's no spark and the only spark is Willie le Roux trying to create something with Oaks just looking at him like, Willie, do something. Can you put me? I'm gonna stand here. You do something. Put me in a gap and I'll catch it. If not, hey man, and like you'll get it wrong and you're like, you hop on that. So I think that's my thing with Willie, and I'm very stoked for him to get 100 caps.
Can I just
Yeah.
add, I think the perfect encapsulation of the Willie le Roux experience was that final for the Bulls against Leinster, of him pretty much looking like the only player that could attack. And I mean, we saw, I think even just when we've had moments like that with the Springboks where it looked like he was the only one that had any sort of vision or creativity, and him trying his hardest to get something going. Obviously, it's not really coming off on that day. The Willie le Roux scowl and the throwing the arms up and the swearing at the forwards. And you're just like, you know, the old man still got it. Like he can still be a very grumpy fullback when, the things aren't happening. But it's also because like teams just almost like turn around and they just go, hey, you're pretty much the only one that can attack here. Can you help us out and bail us out, please? So yeah, that in a sort of a negative way, but that actually shows like the kind of player that Villiers is.
He would have cooked in the top 14. I mean, when we watched that top 14 final, Thala, it was literally just give the ball to the best player and he must do something. But yeah, I think honestly, Billy would have done well in the top 14. But I fondly remember those Wasps days
Oh,
because I just remember watching him at Wasps,
him,
and I was
Cipriani,
sitting
and
there
Bill.
going,
Oh,
yeah, and I was just sitting there going, holy shit, like this guy is cooking. He is cooking. Like they got Cipriani, there was Jimmy Gopeth there, they got Curly Beale. So Beale was playing, so Sips was playing 10, Gopeth was playing 12, Beale was playing 13, and Villy came in at 15. And like there were games where that was the backline setup, and I was just sitting there going, "This is ridiculous." Um, And that put him back on almost on the map again, like with South Africans, even though we weren't watching, a lot of the fans weren't watching a lot of the Premiership then, but kind of put him back on like, listen, he's actually starting to find himself again. But yeah.
That was a fun
Yeah.
era. That was,
Oh,
that was a fun era, the Premiership, because you had like the Willies there. Then you obviously had Saracens. I mean, then you had like Charles Piatow and like as well, like ripping thing. That was a fun time in the Premier League. What a fun time. Now they got two teams because they got no money. Sorry.
but they've got Owen Farrell, and hopefully Owen Farrell will get rid of Fergus Burke, which is what
Sorry,
you want,
sorry.
right?
There's no need. Those are unnecessary digs. Sorry, Gallagher, whatever it's called now. Sorry, over the final. So sorry, guys.
But Owen Farrell's there, which means that Fergus Burke's going to play less, which is essentially will bring you back to watching it again,
And I
right?
want to lost to Fiji. I'm not surprised. Fergus playing, to beat Fiji. Come on now. Scottish fans are shocked. They're like, well, why are you shocked? Look who's playing 10.
Uh, one thing you guaranteed in the Rugby Bits podcast is guys are going to catch strays. Then who was Thala? You sent someone horribly down the river earlier, but
Me?
yeah,
Never
yeah.
me. I'm the nicest guy. I have nothing but nice things to say about every rugby player in the whole wide world.
Listen, you got to just join in because I mean, I'm myself and Cooks are always going to have a go at someone somewhere. But let's talk about nice things. We'll talk about the bench. Most importantly, Asenati and Tlabakanye, Kobus Wiese and Ethan Hooker all made their debut. And yeah, I thought the bench was pretty good. I was actually particularly impressed with a player that I'm not a massive fan of, but Evan Roos. I thought he did well under the circumstances. He played differently to the way he normally plays, like what we normally expect from him. And then the thanks he gets is I don't even think he's in this week's 23. Cooks, well, what's the guy got to do?
Yeah, shame. I mean, I thought he was very good as well. I mean, and long overdue, shame. Like he came on, I thought him and Kubus Viso were probably the pick of the bench when they came on. Yeah, I thought Roos was good. Like I think again, I am quite sad because I really thought that he probably done enough to start. Because I mean, guys, it feels like we're running out of eighth man. Like, like that's what it kind of feels like. I know Russell's got this policy that a Visa must play eight since his brother's playing there now. So if your surname is Visa, like you playing eight against the All Blacks at this rate, like come hella high water. And but I just think with Roos, I would love to see him get a start. Especially the way he played, or at least be in the squad. Because I know Sia has played eight before. I'm only surprised maybe he might get a run at eight because he obviously hasn't played a test yet. Maybe in the second half he gets a run at eight. Rassie, we love you, but there's no need for Kooks Smith at eight. Please, Rassie, please. Like, there's no, we're not going down this path again. Like, I'm not being traumatized with that Lions test match again. Test one. I don't even watch the episode of two sides on because I skipped that one so I can go to test two and test three because there's no need for Kooks Smith at eight. No more. I love him to bits, but no more.
Well, he's back, which is always good. Let's quickly jump on the Springbok side has been named to play Georgia this weekend. Whoa, is all I can say. It's amazing, Tyler. A few years ago, when we saw so many changes and a whole brand new front row and all that, everyone's like, "Oh, you're clutching, like you just, handing out book caps and whatever." But now with Rassie and what he's done and the Springboks and the current form they're in, we just kind of look at it and go, "This is beautiful. We are creating depth." So, Bone Fenter, who I'm sorry to say, I didn't even realize was in the Springbok squad. I thought he was there, but not like left already. Bone Fenter, Manus van der Merwe, and Netling Fouché, friend of the pod. I'm so glad he's getting his full debut as well. They're starting, so we have a brand new front row. Even Etzebeth Ruanok here. Lucy's, we've got Sia Kolisi, Peter Steptoe, and Kobus Wiese. That's something very interesting. And Tala, I definitely want to chat about that when you're done. Grant Williams stays at 9. We've agreed that he must stay there forever. Sasha at 10. Kirtley and Edwell on the wings. Damien Delendi, Canan Moodie, and then Apalele Fase, the weekend special, is back. Tala, wow.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you've got the credit that Rassie has in the bank, why not experiment? So, like, you can do that even with your sides. I mean, yeah. So, I think the number one and the number eights, even to the extent the number two selections, just talk about we don't really know because of injuries or because of just lack of depth. We don't really know what the next option is. So big games for Venter and Manus van der Merwe and I guess Kooks Wiese to try and just, put their hands up there. Like there's a bit of injury crisis. There's there's the like we have to just now see, okay, Juan Venter, I mean, I'm going to be very honest with you. It's not a player I was noticing for Edinburgh. I didn't think, oh, this guy is great, like he should be in the Springboks. But I mean, I think every loose head that's not Oxen Chair is injured right now, and obviously that's why Tom's Tutoy is playing loose head as well. So you kind of are left with him then. So yeah, looking forward to see how he goes. Shame for him. I think he should have actually stuck with Scotland because I think he was a year away from qualifying, and he would have been at least a bench player for Scotland, or at least in like a World Cup squad because he's won the six best props. I don't know if he's the six best props in South Africa once everyone's fit, but it's great for him. Congratulations. Let's see how he goes. Mars van der Merwe, yeah, just build on that performance from against the Barbarians. Wasn't great, but yeah, there's a good chance for him against obviously a very good set piece team, just to show that he's sorted the darts. He can obviously help with the scrum. He's good around the park. Just don't have the sort of the third choice hooker curse and just turn rubbish or become a utility player after this. That's all we're asking for from Manus.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what I will say, I was actually having a chat with a mate of mine in the UK. Exeter have been going so hard on social media with Joseph Dweba joining, and I'm loving it. And we were actually chatting about Dweba and being like, listen, like what happened? And I'm like I still believe that he physically and everything has what it takes, and he just needed to fix his darts. And then I said exactly that. It's that third choice hooker curse. It's like the Dougie Howlett curse, but the South African version.
Yeah. Look, I mean, the Dougie Howlett curse was fixed by Portia Woodman, so maybe Portia Woodman could be our hooker for the Springboks. And then, yeah, the Kooks Wiese thing is just a very big surprise. I am genuinely trying to find if he's played eighth man before. I mean, he's not, I don't think he's 2 meters tall. So I guess you can say, I mean, he has played six, so you can be like, okay, fair enough. He can kind of do that. So I'm thinking this is kind of what Kooks mentioned earlier when Kooks said, like, both Pieter-Steph and Kolisi have become these players that are good around the trams, that are good with sort of hitting the ball up, that Wiese's kind of been taken in as that sort of like, he'll play it tight. He'll sort of set the table for them because obviously Wiese is the one that can do that. He's not going to have that job. Roos is probably better out wide. I feel sorry for Jean-Luc Dupré because he's again gone to another Springbok cap. At least he's played this time, but he got injured, in that Barbarians game. So he only played 38 minutes. I don't think he's out or like injured and he's not able to play right now. So I think he's eligible.
Isn't he on baby leave?
Is he on baby leave? Okay, I'm much happier for that.
I think he might be. I speak under correction, but I think he might, because I also don't recall his injury being that serious, but I think he may be off a little bit for that.
Yeah. Okay. Then in that case, I hope it's that because I'm just like, this guy really can't catch a break. Like, you're now behind the, sixth choice lock at eighth man as well. Like, why do you say yes to these invitations all the time? Just go enjoy your holiday in Ibiza or wherever you can go. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about Wiese because it's not like something that I've ever thought about. So yeah, I guess it's a stopgap situation. We'll see. I don't think he plays every scrum at 8. Like, I think Kolisi will probably come in at some times and maybe they sort of switch around with that. But I guess the role that he's fulfilling is, Wiese's a line-out jumper. He can line-out jump. Wiese's obviously a big carrier in the middle. He can definitely do that. Wiese is that guy that like hits tackles, hits rucks. Wiese the younger can do that as well. So yeah, I mean, what better way to replace someone than get your brother? Like, yeah, I mean, obviously there's been some great brother combinations. I think this is the closest that in terms of like for like is maybe like Marco and Steve Waugh in cricket. Like, okay, both of you are opening to middle order batsmen. Both of you can bowl a little bit. Both of you are great in the slip. So one can sort of replace the other.
Yeah. Kooks, listen, Wiese, so according to All Rugby, he's played open side and blind side in his career, but never played eighth man. So he's never come off the bench and played eighth man. He must have packed down somewhere along the line. But listen, he's a number 4 lock. He's played 5. He can play blindside flank. He's relatively mobile. He's a line-out option. He's got good hands. Maybe Rassie's onto something.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, again, I think the biggest thing, obviously, I think he's having played 7. I think I'm sure he can get around the park. I mean, listen, I think we know that we kind of know this the blueprint for Springbok eighth man is to basically move people in front of you. Rassie loves his eighth man as physical as possible. I'm kind of see what they do in the back. I'm kind of keen to see what he does with his play. Obviously, catching high balls. I won't be surprised to see maybe Sia drops back and sort of plays that sort of role as 8 and dropping back. But um, I'm keen to see what like how he operates there. I think obviously the extra line option, the extra grunt. You know, you look at obviously his brother, how physical he is, Dwayne, how physical he is, and Evan, how physical he is. I think and John to pray there's a mold in how Rassie wants his eighth man to be. And I think, I mean, and Kooks Wiese, I think, can play at that. So I'm keen to see. My biggest thing to see, obviously, him getting around the park, and obviously how he adapts to. I think it's gonna be different. I really think we might see Sia potentially, obviously, dropping back to fill those high balls. So yeah, I'm very keen to see how he goes.
Right. That's going to wrap that up. The 5:10 Mbombela Stadium on Saturday. We're playing Georgia, who took a bit of a loss to the Cheetahs this weekend in a little mini warm-up game. Let's move on to some other games. Thala, I know you pushed for time. You've dropped an amazing list of hot takes that I'm trying to figure out which we're going to go with first. So I'm going to go with this chronologically. We're going to talk a little bit about the All Blacks. The All Blacks destroyed France. France really weren't at the running, and we touched a bit on it earlier. They were worried about other things and just didn't pitch up. They look like they'll be naming a stronger side this weekend, but we expected more from the French.
Yeah, yes and no, Sharky. Yes and no. I think the backline was a lot better than the pick, but the forwards, I mean, I think also still relatively inexperienced, especially the starting pack. Like the All Blacks were good. The pack was fantastic. You know, the All Blacks were good. They were good up front. The pack absolutely had their way with
So good, eh?
the All Blacks. The All Blacks' most best attacking threat is their pack. When their pack is firing, they are very hard to beat. It's very simple now. If you raise it, I mean, Triple Wide 6 has been great. Fabian Holland has been amazing. Has been good.
He had a much better game this game.
Yeah,
much
better
better.
game. So he's been good as well. I mean, Cody Taylor. I feel like Cody Taylor's getting younger and younger because every year he seems to improve. But like, you know, I mean, the prop stocks are healthy, even without a Tamati Williams, for example. Like, you know, Artie at 7. Oh, he's playing well at 7. It makes sense. They got an 8, a proper eighth man. Oh my word!
Who would have thought, eh?
Who would have thought? Oh God, unbelievable! Ian Foster, you know, he's probably sitting in Japan, like, oh, so that's how it works. I thought Christian Leo Wheeler has been good as well, underratedly good as well at 8. Just again, it brings an extra, like, it does eighth man things. Yeah, I think the All Blacks, the pack, I think, but like were fantastic. I mean, with France, I mean, it's very hard to take out when there's the CD team guys and so much experience. I just thought basically they got blown away up front. That's the biggest thing for me with France. It's just the pack was. Unfortunately, they got a proper lesson in Test match rugby in how to do it. And I'm sure I'll add on, but if you're the All Blacks, Razor, you got to get that pack firing because then everything else sort of opens up. And I love the fact that yes, they did trickery in the first test, but they got 2 more tries. And then through the dominance, then what happens is they space out wide. Then the All Blacks can do All Blacks things. They're still always going to score those wonder tries. That's in their DNA. But it's when they force it and search for it. And like that's how it should be. And I think Razor's almost starting to sort of get his implant on that side. I think that the backline will get there slowly but surely. But to be fair, backline, just put Boden Barrett and Roy got together, and the rest will take care of itself. That's all you need is Cam Roy got at 9, Boden Barrett at 10. Mackenzie can play if he wants to when the score's 31-0. Then everything's happy. You can come in at 10 then. You can come in 15 if it's a humdinger. But at 31-0, Mackenzie can come in at 10. That's exactly how you want it.
Thala, so all you need is Roy God and Boden Barrett and a strong pack for the All Blacks moving forward, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, Kooks has pretty much said everything I want to say about the All Blacks, so I'm not going to repeat too much. I think the only thing is Tupovi's been fantastic at 6, but everyone must remember he was great at lock as well. And I mean, I don't know where Patrick Tuipulotu found that energy last week.
Yeah,
Like,
Jesus.
I was like, I thought
He
he was
always
like
brings it
done.
when he gets a recall. He always brings it when he comes in for an
The
injury,
thing is,
something or other.
but you mustn't believe in it. That's the problem. Don't believe in it.
Don't
The
make eye
same
contact.
energy, the same energy you gave, like, oh no, Tuipulotu's back is every week. Don't give him hope, because when you want him in the side and you believe in him, then he lets you down. So we need to bash him again this whole week.
So this would basically sort of, to do a quick hot take. This would, or not, it's not even that hot. This would be my New Zealand team for big games going forward. De Groot, Cody Taylor, Fletcher Newell, all good. Or actually Terrell Lomax. Then locks, you can go Barrett and Tupovai. Loose forwards, call back Blackadder. I don't know what the situation is. I don't know if he just.
He's back training now.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Also, he's back training now for Tasman.
Okay, good. Blackadder 6, RD 7, Satiti 8. Then your bench, you go 6-2. You go Takiaho, Williams, Fletcher Newell, Grizzly front row. You can even mix De Groot and Williams if you want to, if you don't want to be too sort of young with the two youngish props there. Then you have two locks at the bench. You have Holland, who looks like I should be saying 110, 120 test cap Fabian Holland right now, because he just looks like he's made for test rugby. He's going to play that for 10 years. Like, also looks Brody Retallick-ish.
I was just going to say that. He's got that face that Brody Retallick, he's got that, he's Guzzler 2.0, except listen, I do want to say I wasn't massively impressed with him in his first test. Maybe I'm being harsh, but that second test was incredible. But he's got that Guzzler face. He's got that, he wasn't born overseas. He was born in New Zealand. He's got that look.
Like, yeah, he literally needs to just do a holiday there in Retallick's farm or wherever he lives right now and just learn the dark arts. But yeah, I would literally go Holland and Tuipulotu as your locks, kind of like the Springbok old 6-2. And then whatever loose forward you want to put there, like Lakai or whoever, Low Willie, whatever the case is, just concentrate on being the best, or you can be the best 1 to 10 team in the world. 11 to 15, they're not fantastic, to be honest with you. I mean, Caleb Clark, Sever Reese as wings, good, but no Julian Savia, no Nan Milner-Skudder. Your centers, Jordy Barrett's fantastic. Anton Len Brown, like, if he's fit, he can obviously do a great job. Will Jordan's great, but kind of goes away in big games, but we're not going to talk about that right now.
Whoa. I like a podcast. I don't want us to get cancelled in New Zealand. Right. But I don't want to get cancelled in New Zealand, please. We know you're right, but I'm whispering it, even though you're right. But
yeah, we're going to redact that for our New Zealand listeners. But all in all, don't listen to John Kerwin. Don't listen to Jeff Wilson. Play.
Especially Stephen Donald. Don't listen to Stephen Donald.
Don't listen to Stephen Donald. He's the worst of them. Like, play just classic. I mean, this is how New Zealand usually dominates us. They actually have a really good forward pack that either matches us or is actually better than us. And then the backline people do crazy things. Just stay there. Give Jason Ryan as much keys to cook, or as much tools to cook, as much pots that he needs to cook a 5-course meal every week. Like, I don't want to hear from the backline coach. I don't want to hear from Tamati Ellison. Like, literally just let Jason Ryan do whatever he wants every week. That's how you become the number one team in the world again.
And also,
that's my push to the Blacks.
Like I said, and also, it's very, to like wrap it up with All Blacks, it's very simple. You're going to score wonder tries. It's your innate ability. Like everyone can play. Just focus. Just don't try and do it every single time you get the ball. So I'll just go back to dominating sides up front. Like Razor must actually remember that he used to coach the Crusaders, and that's how they used to play. And you sprinkle a bit of magic with Richie Mo'unga, and that's how they win big games. They don't win magic, but best pack, best line out. Didn't consider Maul try in favor.
When the All Blacks are number one in the world and dominate everything, it was Cooks' fault.
Why?
What did Cooks do?
He was just like, you need to go back to what you were good at.
Sorry.
But literally just 1 point from the game. How good was the kicking from the All Blacks as well? Roygaard, I mean, yeah, I think New Zealand people are trying too hard, trying to compare it to Dupont. But Roygaard is a really good kicker. Like all of his clearance
He's
kicks
a great nine.
and he's like his boot is fantastic. Barrett and Jordan were kicking, well, Barrett times 2 and Jordan were kicking really well. They pinned France in their 22 and then forced the mistake so that they can sort of do things with them with their line out. So do classical rugby things, you'll get results. Like
they've got amazing option kickers. Like they've got 4 kickers that all have a different outlook on where they should be kicking, and they can all execute it. Like you have a long ranging boot, you have short touches where Bowden can kick it 10 meters and always collect it. Some bullshit like he's got a magnet. Like they're really, really good in that way.
Bowden's cooking at the moment. Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on to something that's very interesting and could potentially be the downfall of the Lions, is the fact that they have not really had a competitive game, barring the Brumbies, leading up to their first test. My opinion has changed a little bit on things. I think the Wallabies are probably a game or 2 short, but the Lions should walk this series. They're just looking so good, but this hit out this weekend against the Anzac 15 threatened to be a great game, but it just absolutely did not deliver. Kind of like Italy.
Can we stop these barbarians teams getting together on Monday and hoping for the best in these Anzac? It's just that they just don't have time in the saddle. That's the frustrating thing. Like it's just hard. Like the AJ Lambs. I mean, they were good. He was good. Like Frizzell was good. But again, like it's just it doesn't. They just need more time in the set. I mean, we can play the Barbarians game, but play like in the end of the year. Like just find a way. Like it's just so frustrating seeing a side who clearly have not spent enough time together against a side who has. And to be fair against I mean, to be fair to the Oz and Inzak or Blazer Cup team, whatever the team is called. Like the Lions were good, like when they're on. I mean, Tupelotu, I mean, Hugh Jones, guys. Lions you can fight about anything else, but the center combinations, all these centers have cooked. Like this is the very likely Ringrose, like for NFL for Liz Hedrick is injured because Aki Ringrose has been good. Then Tupelotu was good in the weekend, and then Jones was good as well. So like all the things you've given them a chance, they've cooked him in. Like Ben Earl was fantastic as well. He threw himself in the mix. Faz, wow, come on, my guy, Scott there,
So good.
smiling. Oh, I mean, I'm not surprised, but like I don't know, the Lions. Sharky, I don't know Walker. I think the first test is going to be a massive up in intensity. Lions still don't start well. That's a big
Yeah,
thing.
I still think it's going to be 1-1 going to the third test. Thala, Cooks is intercepting all your hot takes here.
Yeah, this is bad. This is what you're talking about, Canan Moodie. Like he can pass outside, but no, he just decides to cut in and try to score the try himself.
Well, I just said I didn't get your hot take. I just said I just stop putting together these random teams and guys get together and play rugby.
Yeah, well,
He's
that was
been
only one
reading
of
your
my hot
notes.
takes, but okay, whatever. I mean, it's fine. When Cook says it, it's all good. But yeah, these invitational teams just play Spain, play Portugal. Poor Portugal, shame. Like that 100 points defeat they had against Ireland, like just like out of nowhere, honestly. But let's not do this against tier 1 teams unless the tier 1 team is saying we're playing our under 22s or whatever the case is. Like these games are worthless to everyone. And yeah, I mean, the big controversy is obviously there's a lot of players being called up essentially to provide cover that the Test 23 doesn't play the Wednesday game against Pacific Islands. Okay, Lions. So if we're gonna do this whole tour thing, and there's also a message for the Boks in New Zealand, if you're gonna do an old school tour, I think let's just be honest about old school tours in 2025. Rugby is just too physical for players to recover on a Wednesday when they play on a Saturday. Like you're not gonna get, Rico Ioane playing, on Saturday against the Springboks and playing the Bulls on Wednesday. Like it's just this is not the game that was played like 30, 40 years ago. So if you're gonna continue with these tours, the midweek games must stop as soon as test week starts. So there can't be a midweek game in between a test series. Like that just is a no-win situation for anyone. Now people complain that Farrell is cheapening the Lions jersey as the Geography 6 all over again, and maybe we're gonna have another player revolt like we did last time with the Geography 6. That's not worth it. Like, rather just don't have midweek games if we're gonna do this. And like Cook said, I'd rather watch the Lions against Fiji or Tonga even than watch the Lions against some invitational team. So
like Moana Pacifica, who are they even playing on Tuesday? It's just guys who can do a haka and swing and sing a few songs and gonna play didgeridoos and like in the culture of Australia Day. You are like, no, like it's giving the test matches, man.
Yeah.
Who are these guys they're playing against? Who are these guys? What team is this now? Now you have like Jamie George not playing against England because like Tom Clarkson, he's gonna be playing. Darcy Graham in his weird scrum cap is gonna be playing. Oh, guys, we're busy on Wednesday, man. Got things to do.
No,
I'm
not gonna watch that game.
I want test matches now. We're done with these games. I'm done dissecting games against the Brumbies. Want to watch? I want to watch Moana Pacifica next year in February.
They're not even called Moana Pacifica, Cooks.
What are they playing?
The Australia First Nations and Pacific.
Oh, sorry.
Islands.
Let's give them
if people made it this far after your All Black slander, we are definitely switched off now. We are absolutely going to have to geolock this episode somehow.
Man. Like, why can't they play the start of the tour? Not now.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. If we're going to do this invitational rubbish, start of the tour when the Lions are also meeting each other for the first time. Then it's cool. Then it's a 40-10 result.
Yeah, test match stuff. Because now there's a squad of 65 now. Darcy Graham is eventually NFL's going to apologize to
you. You and Ashman can't be a British and Irish line. I'm sorry. Like, we have to draw the line somewhere. Like, Ashman is, I think, is the second best hooker in Scotland. Maybe third if Dylan Richardson is available. Like, no, we need to draw a line somewhere. Like, I don't even blame Andy Farrell. Like, if you have the availability and clearly the Lions have the money, fly everyone from wherever they are. That's cool. But then let's just not do midweek games once the tests start. Like, I'm glad they don't even have a game on Wednesday because they used to have a game the Wednesday before a test, which is stupid.
Yeah.
We stop this on Saturday. We say goodbye to the midweek teams. Next time, this is my perfect Lions tour. Only 2 provincial teams can play the Lions. And those are the 2 best ones. They can have a mini tournament without their Springboks or All Blacks or whatever to decide which 2 teams will play the Lions. And the winner gets the gate revenue for that game. Then we actually organize a Lions test match or unofficial test match against the closest team, tier 2 team to the touring side. So they can play Namibia or Zimbabwe, or they can play Fiji or Tonga. Like, it might still be a 16-0 beating, but at least it's a game that has value to the other team as well. Not Shannon Frizzell just playing just to play, or, Tane Edmund looking okay, or whatever the case is. Like, let's actually give some value to the rest of the rugby world, because this Lions concept, the reason why it could die is because this concept only benefits 7 countries. So at least spread the wealth for everyone else.
Yeah, amazing. Let's move on quickly. We touched on it. Ireland beat Portugal 106-7. Jack Crowley basically just said, listen, I'm still in the mix. Shane Bolton, Saffers abroad, 2 tries on debut. We're not going to hang around on that because we need to talk about 2 more things. One being England against Argentina. England very quietly going about their business. England very quietly having a bunch of youngsters and guys that are increasing and help managing their depth a little bit. Thala, I'm gonna sink this straight onto you so Cooks doesn't steal it. I'll give Cooks the under-20s.
Sure. But yeah, this is literally probably the last things I'll say before I have to jump off the pod. Number one, England are in actually a pretty good place now. Like, this tour shows that they have a good sort of second team. Like, most of their second or third choice players can at the very least do a job, if not more. Because set piece was great. Front row is amazing. Like, you have Genjan Stewart on tour, but Baxter and Hayes have really shown themselves worthy, especially since the start of the Six Nations. Apokoforjo is still good. Like, you have the depth there at the front row. A little bit concerned about Lock. I mean, Coles and Eels weren't really great for me, but if Charlie Eels is playing a test match for you, you can deal with that. Loose fours have insane depth. So in the For the Love of Rugby podcast, they asked if England's number sevens, if that's the deepest depth for an international team in any position in world rugby right now. And they have a decent argument because you can go Tom Curry, Ben Earl, Henry Pollock, Ben Curry,
Sam Underhill,
Hipper, Sam Underhill, and even Jack Willis if you loosen your eligibility. Tom Pearson's also an option even. So you've got 6 or 7 players that are like really, 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 really good. Like the problem now is, or not problem, but now Steve Borthwick has to now be like, okay, who do I play in the big games? Can I try horses for courses, all that sort of stuff? So hot takes are England's going to be top 3 in the world at the end of the Six Nations. Like this next Six Nations that's coming up, they need to at least be second. Like they need to now nudge Ireland or France down one at least, if not win the Six Nations. Number 2 is I think George Ford is the first choice 10. Like, I'm not the biggest George Ford fan, but he needs to be in the match 23 somewhere. So either he plays from the start or he's your finisher, but he needs to be in the match 23. And up until Owen Farrell really finds himself, then I'll have a new conversation. But if it's the other two younger 10s, have George Ford there to finish the game. But yeah, I think you can't really ask for more for Steve Borthwick. Like, this was a perfect tour for them. And geez, I'm looking forward to how they go, going forward, because this November is going to be big. They need to beat the Southern Hemisphere teams at home, and then the Six Nations is going to be massive for them.
Sharky, before you go down 20s and Thala leaves, I just want to say I hope Argentina don't win again for at least 18 test matches. I want Argentina to have the record losses. I want them to go past Wales' record, because I am so done with Argentina. I've got nothing positive to ever say again about them again. I'm done. Like, no more now. How many times are we going to get there and be like, yeah, this is it'll be England at home. This is the year they grow. This is the year they finally know. No more. No more. Like, England, Thala, fantastic. But Argentina at home, perfect time, beat Wallabies, beat South Africa, you beat New Zealand last year. Now we're gonna grow. No more. No more. No. They can bring in Eddie Jones, they can bring Rassie Erasmus as their coach. No more. I'm done with Argentina, guys. Like, how many times are we going to be in this podcast, in articles? Poor Jared Wright's going to write articles about Argentina when you play them, like, Argentina, if they believe this year. And we must all read this thing like, oh, but Jared's got a point. Because if they do come right, no more. If they can beat the All Blacks, I don't believe in Argentina anymore. I want them out of Super Rugby Americas. I want them out of World Rugby.
Oh, wow.
No, guys, enough's enough. They must focus on football, play some soccer again, like Messi and the guys. There's no rugby for me in Argentina anymore. There's none. I'm done, guys. How many times are we doing this? How many times are we doing this with these guys? Every year you gotta believe. Every year you gotta believe. No, Argentina is finally coming right. The thing is, the new coach, Coach Pomies, he knows the mindset of the guys. No more. Funding must stop going to Argentina. Like, must stop. There must just be I'm done with those guys. I'm so done with them.
We are literally gonna get sucked in, because I'm literally gonna show this out. They are gonna win against the All Blacks in that first test of the Rugby Championship. Why? Because same thing with Patrick Tuipulotu. Don't look at Argentina. Then they're fine. Then they are cooking. Once you look at them and you have expectations, that's when things fall apart.
So it's when they break your heart.
No,
they're going to win that test. The first test against New Zealand, they're going to win by like 2 points. It's going to be heroic. Montoya's going to be crying. Creevy's probably going to get the winning try. It's going to be fantastic. Next test, they lose by 80. That's the Argentinian way.
It's like, guys, we can't keep doing this with these guys anymore. Every year. We can't keep doing this with these guys anymore. Like, and we keep believing, oh, the Albanos at 10. So what if Albanos at 10? I don't even care if they bring Lobe. I don't even like Lobe. I don't like Hugo Porta. I don't like Augustin Pichot. Just wipe them off the face of this.
Jeez.
They're gonna make the semifinals in 2027 and be like, oh, they're back. They're not back. They're not back, these guys, man. Ooh, I'm so angry. I was watching this game, like, how are you guys losing this again? Always make it 1-1 at home in those fields with the table line the size of a flipping primary school field. Ooh, hate on it.
Well,
Piss me off.
the only thing
Those
that I
guys.
can say is Cooks's hate has moved a whole continent away to another space in the Americas. He is not hating on any Italian sides or European sides. I know the Welsh sides and the Italian sides took a lot of heat. Now Argentina is coming for you.
And Super
We
Rugby and
on the
Super
Rugby Biz
Rugby
podcast would like to apologize.
and Super Rugby Americas is also catching strays as well. Whatever competition is involving Argentinian teams and players, I'm coming after it. I'm coming
I
There
after
we
will
it.
go.
say, I will say, shout out though to Super Rugby Americas because all of those players, like, or a lot of those players that came in, like the fullback, the
Yeah, Shane,
centers,
say,
they look really good. They look really, really nice.
don't come in with facts. I'm not done today. Like, they'll probably beat us in London, those guys, knowing them. Like, oh, it's so annoying, Argentina. Like, they're so good, guys. Like, why? How did they find ways to lose this series? Like how, every watch end of the year, there'll be one of us who go, oh, the player playing England in Twickenham, get a red card, lose again. I know these guys. I know the real life Argentina, and then they're gonna get a World Cup semi-final, and then lose by 35 points. Every time those guys, there's no hope with these Argentina. Flip, man.
Moving away from that amazing, amazing rant, Cooks, thank you. Let's chat about the under 20s. We're not going to hang around for long. I think the most important thing is we need to talk about our BabyBoks. There's nothing we can really say that we didn't say after the first couple of weeks, but my word, they are cooking. So we do tend to wander off a little bit, and I'm hoping that that doesn't punish us in the final. But we beat Argentina, your team, Cooks. We beat them in the semi-final of the under 20s. We are now going to face the junior All Blacks, who somehow beat the French. The French have only got themselves to blame, and the French, I think, was eight straight. No, it was five straight finals, and it's been 8 years since the junior
Yeah.
All Blacks have been in a final.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the Junior All Blacks. I mean, they're putting a hell of a shift. I mean, they've been good. I mean, obviously, they won the rugby championship early on in PE. They're putting a hell of a shift against France. I mean, to beat that France juggernaut is tough. But
Jeez, they got some big guys.
they got some big guys. But I
Wow.
mean, like, but listen, the New Zealand side is cooking as well. I mean, they also, I mean, their backline is scary as well. But our BabyBoks, the best thing for us, Sharky, is that we scored 48 points yesterday and we feel like we weren't at our best. We
Yeah.
are, I think this under 20 side is so scary what they can do to teams because our ability to put on points is, and quickly as well. You blink like for Argentina, like 10 minutes in the, like, for Argentina, as they got their heads in, like, you know, no, and you blink. Like, how on earth are we 14-0 down in a space of 5 minutes? And then I must say, like Argentina, they were good. I thought that patches there, like they butchered like two or three stone cold tries where you just like, oh, like how on earth are you have not made this game closer? But we did well to close it at the end. It does look like when the reports are saying it's very hot over there because you see the guys were blowing and it's second off because you're playing. And like we made our bench was fantastic when they came and made those big changes. But Shoki, I'm positive. I think us and New Zealand's going to be a great final because I think we're both in the same place. I mean, we haven't won it since 2018. I mean, 2012, sorry. They haven't won it in I was 8 years, those are final. So it's nice that rugby, is back in the Southern Hemisphere. Thank goodness those Europeans are hogging that on a 20 chair that you get title. But it's exciting for both nations and for us as well to look at the talent that we're producing. So and the exciting talent. I mean, Batu Tlekanu was an absolute beast. You look at
I
Riley,
love him, eh?
Vusi
Uh,
was fantastic again. Mintua, Yaku Williams, our back three, Chezo, our back three. Can you get Yaku Williams and Chezo used to a scrum cap, please? Because Mintua obviously is already going, but what a performance! I mean, like, what a World Cup run it's been.
they're not allowed to get scrum caps yet. It's like when you start playing rugby, you play barefoot. They haven't earned their boots yet. Like it just needs some time. It's got nothing to do with them. It's just got to do with the system. Um, yeah. Oh, Tlekani Yassi. I really hope I said it on a podcast. but I love him. Absolute massive fan. He's got so many beautiful touches. Like he's a massive guy. He's got a lot of gas, but he's got some nice touches, and I think we're going to see a lot more of him. He's absolutely going to be playing a lot of senior rugby, and dare I say it, but I'd love to see him in the Springboks sometime. Kooks, that's going to wrap up the Rugby Bits podcast for this week. Thank you to everybody for listening. We really appreciate your support. Please share the podcast and send in some comments. If you have any questions or anything, please let us know. This weekend is without a shadow of a doubt, we've got to look forward to the first Wallabies and Lions test match. The All Blacks are hosting France again. France are hopefully going to change it around. And Rassie's gone with a massive change up for Georgia, which is always exciting. Kooks, thank you very much. Thala has left, but guys, we really appreciate it. Have a great one. Thanks for listening to the Rugby Bits podcast.